One Way ANOVA in GraphPad Prism. In this video tutorial, I will show how can we perform One Way ANOVA in the software GraphPad Prism. And we perform One Way ANOVA to see whether there is significant difference among more than two groups of data. And the assumptions for performing One Way ANOVA is that your data is normally distributed. Let's see an example how can we perform that in GraphPad Prism. First, I need to open my GraphPad Prism software, and then once your GraphPad Prism software is open, you need to click on the column option, and it is by default selected, and then press create. So this is the GraphPad Prism data file, and I need to input my data here. So this is my data file. So from this Excel, I need to copy that data and paste it in the GraphPad Prism. So I am copying my data, and then under the GraphPad Prism, you see there is a white cell here. So click your cursor, right button, and then click paste data. So data has been pasted here. So I have a yearly income of people in three different regions, that is east, west, and south. And my research question is that whether there is significant difference in the income level between these three groups of a region. So I want to see whether income significantly varies in between east, west, and south region. Now, to perform the one-way ANOVA, you can see that I have some basic conditions that I have more than two groups. So I have east, west, and south. In fact, if I have two groups, I can perform t-test, but since it is more than two groups, I need to perform one-way ANOVA. And I am assuming that my data is normally distributed. If I'm not sure about that, I can perform that through the normality test. And I have another video in this know-how YouTube page where you can find how can we perform normality test in GraphPad Prism. So before doing that one-way ANOVA, we already identified that my data is normality distributed and I have more than two groups. So I think this basically fulfills my condition for performing the one-way ANOVA. Next, to perform the one-way ANOVA, I need to click on Analyze, and then I need to select all of these three, east, west, and south. And what I am trying to do here, I am trying to perform one-way ANOVA, so I need to click here one-way ANOVA. And then I'll click OK. Since it is non-paired data and also non-repeated data, so just click non-matching or pairing. And since my data is normally distributed, so use ANOVA and just use ordinary ANOVA test. In case of the Wells ANOVA test, we need to select this when my data does not fulfill the condition of the homogeneity of the variance. So I need to then select on multiple comparison, and I want to compare each column with the other one, so select this one. then under the option for the multiple comparison, there are different tests, but the recommended is the 2 key, so you can click that one. And further you can select different options, but keep this as usual when it is showing, so keep this as default. And then once you're done with this one, select OK. So first of all, if I see, this is the main result of our ANOVA, and this p-value is statistically significant, right? And it is clearly mentioning that this indicates that there is significant difference of income among different regions. And in terms of the Brown Forsyth test, you can see this p-value is not significant. This means are standard deviation significantly different? No. So this means this actually fulfills the homogeneity of the variance. Okay. And then if I look at the difference between the three regions, I need to click on the multiple comparison. So basically you can see the comparison here: east versus west, east versus south, and west versus south. Basically I can find that two column here, that is in between east and south and west versus south, these two are actually significant different from each other, but not east versus west. That means the income between east and south and the income between west and south is significantly different. And the mean difference value is given here. So this is actually east minus south. So east has more income than the south. Similarly, west has more income than the south. And their respected mean value is given here. And I can, it's better to show this result in terms of the graph. So if I look at this graph option, if you click the data one, and this will give you the option of the data. So select this one, so and then press OK. So you see the result here. So by looking at this graph, you can clearly see that uh, east has more income than the west, and west has more mean income than the south. And in terms of the significance, whether this difference is statistically significant, we already uh, showed that in previous result section. But interesting thing is that you can also able to show that here. So what you need to do, you see there is option of the draw, and there is a significant option. So just click here. Now very beautifully it is showing that you see there is significant difference between the west and south, and from this one I clearly say that west has more income than the south. And there is no significant difference of the income between the east and west, and in between the east and south you see the east column is much higher than the south, and this is statistically significant. So just looking at this graph, you can say that east region income is higher than the south region income. So in this way we can easily perform the One Way ANOVA in the software GraphPad Prism. Thank you.